Alex Marquez just won the Catalan Sprint, and for the first time in his MotoGP career, the camera had nowhere else to look. No Marc on the grid, no factory Ducati garage next door, no older brother to share parc fermé with, just Alex, on the top step, with a version of his career nobody has ever really seen before. The headlines are calling it a comeback after Le Mans. They are wrong. Every Alex Marquez win for 2 years has come with an asterisk. Today's didn't. So what changes when the comparison disappears? And why is this the result that finally forces the paddock to take him seriously? Le Mans was a disaster. Alex said it himself in the Thursday press conference. Le Mans for us was a disaster, especially from my side. 8th in the sprint, crashed out of the GP, 1 point across the entire weekend. The narrative around him hardened in the 2 weeks since, that Jerez was the outlier, not the rule. That with Marc out, Ducati's championship hopes now lived with Bagnaia, not the satellite rider from Cervera. Even his own teammate Fermín was being talked about as the more interesting Gresini story for 2027. The grid in Barcelona was supposed to confirm all of it. It did the opposite. Start with the grid itself, because nobody saw this one coming. Pole went to Pedro Acosta, the KTM kid the paddock has been waiting on for 2 years. P2 went to Franco Morbidelli, with Valentino Rossi watching from the VR46 box like the script had been written for him. Alex was P3, the front row, but the afterthought of the front row. Behind them, the championship was a wreckage. Marco Bezzecchi, the title leader by a single point, crashed at the start of his final Q2 run and qualified 12th. Rossi reportedly threw his hands in the air in the box. Jorge Martin, the Le Mans winner who arrived in Barcelona 1 point off the lead, crashed 3 times across the weekend and salvaged 9th out of Q1. And Francesco Bagnaia, the man Ducati is now leaning on without Marc, did not even make Q2. He starts 13th. The factory Ducati did not make Q2. Here is where it gets uncomfortable for Aprilia. Barcelona is supposed to be their track. Alex Espargaro won 2 sprints here in 2023 and 2024. Aprilia took their first ever MotoGP 1-2 at this circuit. Going into this weekend, every piece of data said the RSGP would be the fastest bike on this surface. Instead, both factory Aprilias self-destructed across 3 days. Their championship leaders combined for 4 crashes. Martin then crashed out of the sprint itself. Bezzecchi limped home 9th at their best track, with Rossi in the box. The Aprilia story is not a bad weekend. It is a structural failure at the worst possible circuit, and the championship just shifted because of it. Then the lights went out, and the story got worse for everyone except Alex. He led the race and fought for it for 12 laps. Acosta, the pole sitter, the future of KTM, the rider Ducati is reportedly signing for 2027, was on his rear wheel the entire race and crossed the line 0.041 second behind. Behind them, Fabio Di Giannantonio made it a Ducati 1-3 on the same factory-spec GP26 as Alex. The bike Ducati keeps building for everyone except their own factory rider just took 2 of the 3 podium spots. Acosta admitted only weeks ago that fighting for P4 isn't where he wants to be. Today he was fighting for P1 and lost it to the same rider who beat him at Valencia last November. Morbidelli faded, but this story is not about them. This story is about a 29-year-old who just did something he has never done before in MotoGP. And oh yeah, there is one more part of this that nobody is saying out loud. Every single Alex Marquez win in the last 2 years has had Marc in the frame. The 2025 Spanish GP, Marc on track. The 2025 Catalan GP, Marc was P2, a brothers 1-2. The Valencia Sprint, Marc in pit lane, just back from Indonesia, the storyline of the day. Jerez 2026, Marc on the grid, finishing behind him. Every champagne moment, every podium photo, every press conference question has carried the same shadow. Yeah, but what did Marc do today? Today is the first one where that question doesn't exist. Marc is recovering from 2 surgeries, one on his foot, one on his shoulder. He cannot be compared to. He cannot be credited. He cannot be the reason. For the first time in his career, Alex Marquez won something with only one name attached to it, his. And that is what makes this dangerous for the rest of the grid. Because here is the part Ducati's management is now staring at. Bagnaia, the two-time world champion, paid €7 million a year, qualified 13th at a circuit where Alex won from P3 on identical factory machinery. He recovered to 6th in the sprint, almost 5 seconds behind a rider on the same bike. Bagnaia himself admitted he couldn't even think of getting into Q2 this weekend. Two arguments collapsed on the same Saturday. The first was that Alex only wins when Marc allows it. The second was that Bagnaia is the real Ducati number one. Neither survived. Same chassis, same tyres, same conditions, opposite story. The factory rider is the one asking questions of his own bike. The satellite rider is the one winning races on the identical version of it. Now think about what this means for 2027. Alex is reportedly KTM bound. Pedro Acosta is going the other way, into the factory Ducati garage next to Marc. So Ducati spent today watching the rider they decided to release outperform both the rider they are keeping and the rider they are signing. And remember, Acosta sits 4th in the championship right now, with Alex 8th. The rider Ducati picked is currently ahead. He still lost by 41 thousandths today. Joan Mir is reportedly circling the Gresini seat Alex leaves behind, linked with a surprise move from Honda. Aldeguer is set for VR46. Every one of those decisions was made before today. Every one of them just got harder to defend, because the data has changed. Alex Marquez on identical factory machinery just buried the works Ducati at one of the most demanding circuits on the calendar. Not because Marc was gone, because he was good enough. This was never really about Marc being absent. This was about Alex finally winning a race where the absence was a frame, not an excuse. The paddock has spent 2 years explaining Alex's wins. There is no explanation for this one that survives the timing sheets. He was faster than the pole sitter. He was faster than the championship leaders. He was faster than the factory Ducati. On the same bike, Bagnaia couldn't get out of Q1. Make no mistake, that is not a comeback after Le Mans. That is a rider who just answered the only question that has ever been asked about him. People thought today was about Marc being gone. It was really about Alex finally arriving on his own. And what he did with that frame today is the kind of evidence that doesn't get forgotten when contract season opens. So here is the question every team principal in the paddock is now sitting with. If Alex Marquez can win like this on a Ducati he is about to leave, what is KTM about to inherit? And what is Ducati about to lose? Let us know in the comments below. And once you do that, make sure to click on the video appearing on your screen right now.